One of the things I'm most proud of is our mental health department, where we provide low-cost counseling to special needs individuals and their families. During times like this is something that everyone can use.
Hi everybody! Welcome back to another character drawing class with me, Avivah, your art director from the Ed Osner Family Center. And this is...
And me, Eddie Paskowitz.
Eddie Paskowitz joining us once again. We've missed you, Eddie, on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been on our show for like a few weeks now, right? Yep. Last week we had Spencer, our good family friend, and now we have Eddie back on the show, who is also an incredible artist, like you guys all know. Eddie, who are we drawing today?
Anger.
We are drawing Anger from Inside Out. Inside Out was actually, it's kind of like an older movie now at this point, right? I don't really remember exactly which year. I'm sure if you check the comments, we've got plenty of facts going about the whole movie throughout the entire show. So you guys can check those out. They're really cool. I like checking them out after the show. So we're going to be talking all about Inside Out today. Eddie, are you a fan of the movie Inside Out? What do you think? Like a thumbs up kind of movie, or like maybe like a thumbs down kind of movie? Because I know you've seen it a lot of times. Oh, okay, thumbs up kind of movie. Yeah, mm-hmm. I personally think it's a really great thumbs up kind of movie as well. Mm-hmm. Eddie, do you have a favorite character from Inside Out? What character do you think? Out of all, we've got all of our characters right here, except MV is kind of blending into our green screen a little bit.
Joy.
Your favorite character is Joy from Inside Out. That's a good choice. Joy is kind of like, she's right here. She's basically like the leader of the whole pack, of the whole group of emotions, because the whole movie is mainly about this one little girl who is, dealing about like going through like the stresses of moving and making new friends in a new town. And it's all about these characters inside of her subconscious kind of showing her the way. And so okay, well, Eddie, why don't you tell us who each of the characters are? So why don't you start on that side?
This is sadness.
Sadness is the blue. Okay.
Disgust,
who's kind of blended into our screen a little bit.
Anger, fear, and joy. So we've got there's so many more emotions, obviously, but they've touched on a few of the main key emotions that we all feel. But today we're mostly focusing on this guy, which is anger. So Eddie chose Anger today for today's show. And I think it's a great character to draw because he's actually very simple with his shape. And it's also a feeling that we all feel sometimes. I feel angry sometimes. Eddie, do you ever feel angry or frustrated sometimes? Mm-hmm.
When do you feel angry or frustrated? What kind of situations? Maybe?
Only if I didn't beat the game.
Oh, so if you're playing like a video game and it's like a little tricky to like get all the way to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be super frustrating. I totally understand what you're talking about. I get frustrated sometimes if like a craft project isn't going my way. But what do you think is a good kind of way to get yourself out of that funk, getting out of that frustrated or angry kind of mood? Ooh, big yawn.
Take a deep breath.
Oh yeah, take a deep breath. That's what you were doing right there, basically. What else? What's another good tool that you can use to try and get out of that angry kind of funk?
Take a break.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I definitely feel like sometimes when you're making art and you're getting frustrated, you're working on a painting and you feel like, it's not looking the way that I want it to. Sometimes what Eddie said, taking a break, taking a step back, getting a new fresh set of eyes and looking at your work really, really helps you out. Mm-hmm. But you guys came here to draw let's get drawn. Okay, so we are going to make sure that we have a nice piece of paper ready to go, a pencil, and a nice hard surface, because we don't want any lumps and bumps in our drawing. Oh, and I see we've got a few comments today, and we can see your comments because this is live. And Mia says hello, Mia. And Nava is my mother and also one of our founders of our center, says, great answer, Eddie. She thought you had some great answers about maybe feeling angry and frustrated. Why, everyone watching, if you ever feel angry or frustrated, maybe you can write in the comments some tips and tools for what you do to try and get out of that funk, because no one really enjoys being angry that much. All right, so let's get started, okay? So we are going to start with a nice sheet of paper and our pencil. And so I am going to move our character around so we can really get a good look of who we're drawing today. Eddie, just looking at our character, what kind of shape does our friend Anger remind you of?
A rectangle.
Kind of like a rectangle. He's rectangly, yeah. He's very square with his lines, some lines going down to the side. And so that's a good way to start, finding shapes that we are familiar with. So why don't we start with, let's actually push our paper just a little bit further up so everyone can see. All right. And what we're going to do is we are going to start with a nice soft square. So when I say soft, it means that we're not pressing really hard on our pencil. And this is giving us a nice map, a good base to our drawing, just so we can see where our features and our body parts of Anger really lie on our paper. Okay. So now we've got a nice light square. Eddie, how's your light square going? You're going straight into the details. And what Eddie's doing right now is actually, he's making, if we can see close up on our example, Anger has these little lumps and bumps, tiny little lumps and bumps going around his entire body because he is purely made of flames, made of fuego, fire. So we're trying to make him a little bit bumpy when you make your character. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with the top two corners of our square. So we're going to start by making two nicely curved lines because he's not completely square and pointy. He's got some soft edges. So we're curving around the edges here, coming across the top, and then kind of dipping in, bringing our little parts where our eyes will be just slightly curved in with two almost like opposite parentheses coming in towards the inner part of the face. And then let's make some cheeks coming out because he does have this big like frown, this big grimace. That's always such a hard word for me. Grimace. That still doesn't even sound right when you say a word a bunch of times. All right, so now we've got a good face shape. Ooh, beautiful, Eddie. So Eddie's already going down to the collar, and that's actually a great spot that we want to go on to now. So let's see. What Eddie is doing is a great way of starting. He made a line going down and a line going down, and those are two diagonal lines. Let's do what Eddie did and do two straight lines coming into the middle without touching. So we're not letting them touch because that's where our little tie is going to go. So two diagonal lines coming in, and then we can curve our lines on the sides for that nice tough looking chest. His chest is all puffed up. Sometimes when you raise your shoulders up in anger and you feel all frustrated and tight, sometimes your chest kind of puffs up. So we're making it nice and curved here. All right. And then what we can do is just like how we made our kind of soft square in the beginning, we're going to use that same soft hand technique and go across. And we don't want to make it super dark because that's where our tie is going to go. So we want to make sure that's not too dark so we won't see any of those lines underneath. Okay. So now we've got a nice straight line. Did you see what I did there, Eddie? So right before I did the tie, I made a nice line going across. And that's going to be where our pants start. So I'm really just getting the nice shape of the square first before we start doing the arms or the face. So now we can do the pants. So you ready to do the pants, Eddie?
Mhm.
Okay, so I think for the legs of the pants, we want to start with the side. So let's make 2 curved lines kind of going out. I'm just slightly curving these lines. These are for the pants. He's got some nice pleated pants on too. And why don't we end this line with 2 lines going across the bottom? I'm also curving these lines in for the cuffs of his pants. So 2 slightly curved lines. And if you're just joining us now, I'm just going to give you a little close up on how our anger looks so far. Something like that. It's kind of just a strange shape for now, but his character will soon start showing up. All right. So why don't we, before we start working on the pants, we can actually finish off our pants with just a little upside down V in between, just like that. He's kind of looking like SpongeBob so far. What do you think, Eddie? He does kind of like a SpongeBob-y kind of outfit.
Mhm.
Ooh, I love your tie. So why don't we do what Eddie's doing, those steps of making the collar by just bringing down another diagonal line and connecting it to that line above with another diagonal line. So just doing those same kind of V-like shapes just for the collar. Making another V-like shape for that middle part. And you can see that his tie is not super tight the way SpongeBob's is. It's kind of loose, you can see. See how loose his tie is? Because sometimes at the end of the day, and maybe it's been a really rough day, you got to loosen your tie. So let's make that tie just a little bit looser by adding a little circle on the top. First we'll start with the tie and then we'll add the straps. But we're starting with circle. 2 diagonal lines going down and ending with a point here. Ooh, Eddie, nice. I love your tie that you made. We're actually trying to catch up to you here. So while we're drawing, you can fix anything that you'd like. No worries. Everyone draws at a different speed, different pace. So now I'm adding just 2 little lines next to our circle of our tie here, just to show that it's a little bit loosened, our tie. Still looking a little bit like SpongeBob. Oh, Eddie's adding some flames to his anger. I love it. And flames, if you want to draw flames, we'll talk about that a little later. But just what Eddie did, flames have a bunch of layers of a bunch of different colors too. So now I'm just erasing in between my tie to make it nice and clean. And we can actually start on our belt loops because you can see throughout the belt, there are a few little squares, and that's where the belt loops come in. We're making little squares on the top of his pants. Okay, just little squares, just a few spots apart. And then we're just going to make a nice strip in between, and that's going to be his nice brown belt. All right. Looking good. Let's see our character up here just so we can get a good idea of what he's looking like. So why don't we start on his face now? We're doing what Eddie's doing. So, ooh, some nice face, Eddie. Wow. Okay, so we're going to catch up to you here. And you can see that Eddie really started about just a little bit away from the forehead when we start to make the dip of that lovely kind of curve that he's got over his eyes. If you feel your eyes when you make a really angry face, you can totally feel that your eyebrows kind of cover your eyes a little bit. So we're not going to be able to see our full eye today. So we're doing a diagonal line coming down, curving it around, bringing it back up, and we're making this right side actually a little bit higher than the other side, giving it a little bit more of a curve. Just like that. You can even add on top of it 2 little curved lines. Perfect. All right. Ooh, Eddie, I love it. You gave him some thick brows, some nice teeth. And if you want, Eddie, while we're finishing our character, you're more than welcome to draw any of the other characters from Inside Out while you wait for us to finish, okay? Mm-hmm. You can even use some of our dolls we have around for a good reference, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to keep going here with our eyes. We're almost done with these guys, with these eyes. I'm making a nice arch, an upside down rainbow, if you would like to call it that. So we're a nice arch there, and another one on the other side, just like this. Eddie, do you remember any of the parts from, do you like have a favorite part from Inside Out? Like maybe like a favorite scene?
No.
No favorite scene from there?
No.
Any part of the movie that kind of like pulled at your heartstrings, made you like a little bit upset? Because I know there's actually kind of a sad part of the movie. Do you remember that part with what is his name? The elephant?
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. He was such a great character in the show. We actually have a stuffed animal of Bing Bong at home. All right, so now we have two lovely eyes in the middle, and I've kind of put them towards the middle of the shape of the eye there. Okay. And then you just end it with a little circle in the middle. Color that in nice and dark. And his eyes are a lovely shade of red and orange. And then we're going to end the face with just his lovely mouth.
I can try those.
Do you want to try and help us out with mouth? Because you made yours really nice. Maybe you can help us with the teeth. I'm going to just show the beginning part of how we're going to start our mouth, just by starting just very far to the left, curving it up, and making a very similar shape to the eyebrows. So we're just curving our line up and back down, kind of like a very soft M shape, or almost like a flying bird. Alrighty, so now we've got a nice mouth shape. You can leave it as is, or you can open up his mouth the way Eddie did and just do a nice curve. Actually, this might need to be a little bit wider so we can see our teeth. So you want to do a little curved line here. You can also add any type of details you want for the background. Eddie, if you want to give your character a background while you wait for us as well, you can maybe add some flames. Totally up to you. So now, just to finish off his mouth, we're going to just add a few curved lines for the teeth. I'm just adding a few, and then we just connect those. I'm not making one straight line across. I'm giving it a little bit of depth by just making little curved lines at the bottom of the teeth. Let me bring that up a little bit closer. You're going to show your details of your teeth. Oh, I love your teeth, Eddie. It really looks like, with Eddie's anger, it looks like he's really crunching hard on his teeth. He looks really, like he's really angry.
And look at the eyebrow.
I love the eyebrows. And you can even color in the inside of his eyes, too. That's another part that has a little bit of a dark shading to it, too. So just to finish off the mouth, we're going to add a few more teeth on the bottom with more of our little curved line shapes. Finishing off the pants with just a line going across the bottom here for some cuffs. Maybe some lines in the middle for the pleats in the pants. I love that you made the pleats in the pants as well, because he's a businessman, you know. He's an angry businessman. Oh, lovely applause. I love it. We're almost done. We are almost ready to applause both of us. We've really worked hard on our anger. So for the feet, we're going to make just like a little curved line here. Just like how Eddie made little cute feet. I'm going to make mine a little bit more like boots. So we're just making these lines come out curved, just like a nice U shape for the feet. And now what we can do is we can finish off our anger with some arms, because right now he's armless. So we're just going to start with two diagonal lines coming out right where our collar starts. Just bringing it back into the body with another diagonal line, cuffing that sleeve with a little rectangle. And then finally ending with those powerful fists that he has. And a really easy trick for fists is just making almost like the same shape that Eddie made for his feet. Just a nice curved, like almost like half circle. We're going to do the same thing on both sides. It doesn't look like fists yet, but all you need to do is go sideways, make a straight line, and add a V on the top, like a Y, and that kind of makes it look like you've made a fist. And it looks like his thumb is kind of tucked in there when you make that little Y shape. All right. Let's see, side by side. You want to show our friends? So cool. I love our angers. If you have made an anger today with us on the show, you can send it to me at avivah@edasnerfamilycenter.org because me and Eddie would love to see it. All right. But that's going to be about it. You want to show just, we got our anger side by side. Bow-bow. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's a little bit light. Oh, Tessa says, great job. Thanks, Tessa. All right. So I had so much fun with you guys drawing. What do you think, Eddie?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can try drawing some of our other characters later when we go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this is all for now.
This is all for now, folks. Thanks for joining us.
God made you special, and He loves you very much.
What a lovely message. A great way to end our show. But before we leave today, I just want you guys to notice Eddie's lovely shirt that he's wearing. It says loved Ed Asner Family Center and emphasis on the Ed for our Ed Asner Family Center merchandise, which is now up on our teafc.org website. Okay, so go check those out. We'll be mailing those out very soon. So get excited. Go represent us because we love representing you by putting up all of your beautiful art that you've made in this center. And I hope you guys join us next week for another character drawing class. Go ahead.
And don't forget to subscribe for more drawing classes.
Yeah. So if you want to check us out more and
click here to go to the first half. And click here to go more character drawing class. Until then, see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
See you there.
Okay, bye-bye.